So it's so cool for our listeners who might need to come here. It's also cool for families and friends and neighbors that might know somebody and not fully understood all the background pieces and what's possible out there. When you talk about some of the cool things we've seen on legs, like it makes me think of Transformers, and it's true. Like and wacky projects that Brian's done. I know he took like a metal, not a metal, I don't even know what the content was. It was a black square, you might know, and they carved it down to fit in a snow blade. So I didn't need a foot or a boot. We just immediately inserted this black block. Do you know what that was? Because I think you were part of it. Solution finding.
Black block that would have,
Like
that would have been, yeah, that would probably have been milled by one of the machinists here.
yeah,
It was basically replicating the bottom of a ski boot, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, Blurview is on the cutting edge of all the technology that's coming out. They're always doing research into it if it's not their own idea. And they're always making sure that it works. But one of the things that we have now, which I guess would have made that quite a lot easier back in the day, is I'm actually close to the digital technologies room, and where Blurview's purchased a scanning gun,
Oh,
and not a gun, but more of like a
wow.
scanning tool, so to say, that you would wave over somebody's leg or residual limb,
Yeah.
and or the bottom of a ski boot, and you would get that exact replica on a computer screen and be able to print that or carve it out of foam or anything like that. So then we can then turn that digital image into a positive product, like instead of it just being a digital file, that can then be mimicked and printed out of materials. So
Wow.
that's something that's kind of coming up. We're not offering it to clients just yet. It's still in the opening phases of figuring out if, when we do scan the residual limb, do these sockets fit the client
Yeah.
when we do our modifications and all that. But yeah, that would have been the bottom of your ski boots, like some type of ABS plastic. And nowadays, with the right tools, that can be printed quite easily. So all
Wow.
kinds of different pieces that would help interface your socket to whatever type of adaptive device you're using.
Wow, it's extraordinary. I think when you were up and coming, you've always seemed to have an interest in the 3D technology, like the 3D printing. Is that kind of how that is, or is that a
Yes,
whole different?
it's similar. So yeah, to get to a 3D model of somebody's residual limb, you do use that scanner and you scan their leg, and it becomes a 3D model on a computer screen. And from there, I currently we're not using 3D printers, but we're using, or at least I've been looking into foam carvers. So it starts off with a big foam block, and the machine turns that with a drill bit that will go in and out and carve the shape that we've captured. A lot of this right now, it's you can quantify all the fine details and the modifications that you do. So that's nice for a lot of the clinicians to be able to medically say, this is what I'm doing and how it's affecting the client. Whereas before it was it still is a little bit, but we use plaster. So you have your residual limb, and the clinician will cast you and get a negative of your residual limb, and then we fill that with plaster. For us, with digital technology and carving these things, it's a lot nicer because a big heavy cast is no longer 60, 70 pounds, or maybe a little bit lighter than that, but they're 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds, because they're just light pieces of foam to work off of. So
Oh,
it's made our life easier for sure. And for somebody who walks around all day with an above knee amputation, it saves my back, and it definitely helps out in those areas. So it's good all around for everybody.
yeah. And well, we're both above knee too. So as somebody that's being casted,
Mm-hmm.
as a woman or as a man, I guess it's just as intimate for you as it is for me to be
It
able to
can
get
be,
that
yep.
socket. Yeah, right up to be able to get a good replica of your leg. So it's fabulous as well. It sounds a lot less invasive and more
A
respectful.
little less, yes, that's right. A little less hands-on for sure, but yet, more detailed and almost more hands-on, less physical hands-on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
and
also a nice progression.
yeah, it definitely, and it helps a lot with the children who have a hard time with casting. There's a lot of kids who are it's not their favorite thing. It's confusing and a little bit and scary. So
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to just, for a helmet or whatever, just scan that part of them, and then we've got a replica of what we need to work off of.
It was so great. Yeah, because it's the same as getting a cast for a broken limb, right? It's a full-on cast.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly the same process. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, and so I mean, I'm completely remiss because it's really neat. I feel like I'm talking to Will, who I know is so much like the guy I grew up with. Like it's kind of funny to be listening to this professional technician from Bloorview, and I've just like absorbed into your world because you know so much about the process. But we grew up together, so I'm going to
I
do the
know.
show backwards. Instead of future, present, past, I'm going to go present, past, future,
Okay.
and just sort of pull into your famous skiing days. So was I right? Did you make Quest for the Gold? Were you a Quest for the Gold for a little while, or an
I
applicant of?
Yeah, I was a recipient of the Quest for Gold funding in Ontario for quite a number of years.
Yeah.
I would say 3 years probably. Yeah, that was a pretty incredible that was an incredible time to be skiing in the Paralympic world. Um, it was incredible to get the funding to be able to go and ski around North America,
Yeah.
a few camps in the United States, and mostly going out west here in Canada and a couple of camps in Quebec and things like that. But yeah, yes, the Quest for Gold was really fantastic.
I know I saw you get a silver medal at an event. I don't know, did you ever get like a first place at an Ontario or North American event?
Yeah,
So
I
I didn't know.
remember it was. Oh, I can't. It was the Ontario Provincial Championships, and I couldn't tell you what year it was.
Oh.
Probably about a decade ago now. I'm almost 30.
I won't confess.
Uh, yeah.
Was it Calabogie?
So I believe it was Mount St. Louis Moonstone, actually. It
Got it.
was one of the first ever integrated races between para skiing and able bodied skiing. And I remember we were racing with the U16 club there at the time.
Woo!
And they were having their Ontario championships, and then we were having ours on the exact same course, running the same thing as all the other kids.
Yeah, like they are steep pitches. They are like authentically double black diamond. They're not para rated. They are just plain
No,
old double black diamonds. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's right. You'll if you do a little comparison from the able-bodied ski world to the para world, all of the in terms of World Cup, the men and women para racers will race on the same hills and on the same track as the female category in like able-bodied World Cup.
Woo! I didn't know
So
that. That's
yeah,
extraordinary.
they're flying down the hill at 130 kilometers an hour, just like everybody else.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Well, I have a nice surprise for you, Will. I'm gonna put my producer on his toes. We're as we say goodbye to extraordinary Will, who is celebrated Holland Bloorview. And if people want to donate or they want to learn more or they're feeling stuck and they're looking to problem solve or somebody in their communities just acquired a disability, uh, how do people find either you or find Bloorview, whoever you want to communicate to the community?
I would definitely say that your first bet for any kind of information or contact information for somebody in the industry, if you are looking to get a device made for you, Bloorview is a great start if you have a child or are a child under the age of 18. Hollandbloorview.ca is their website. You'll find
Okay,
all the resources on there.
great.
Yeah, and then if you contact the prosthetics and orthotics department, I'm sure that if anybody really wanted to contact me personally, you'd get me through there.
Fabulous. Incredible. So a nice little surprise as we say goodbye to you and we say hello to my next guest, Anne Bethune. Anne Bethune, everybody, is an occupational therapist, and she's a classifier. So both Will and I, when we were out in British Columbia getting classified, we had to prove authentically that yes, in fact, our legs are missing. So we gave evidence to Anne that our legs are missing, and she would classify us and where we rated in the scheme of things. So, if you're okay with the handover, can I say hello to Anne, and Anne can say hello to you, and then we'll say goodbye, if that's okay with you,
great.
Will?
Perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Right, there's Anne now. Anne,
hello, my friends. So nice to see you.
Anne Bethune. Can you see Will on the screen, Anne?
I sure can. Hi,
Oh.
Will.
And
Hi.
Will, can you hear Anne?
I can hear. Yep.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of your interview there, and having worked as a classifier, but also on the slip crew for the Olympics and the Paralympics here in Vancouver.
Amazing.
I can attest it's the same course, absolutely for everybody, and it's wild.
Oh my gosh. And tell the world what a slip crew does.
Oh, sure. So the slip crew, we're the crew that sets up the course, like starting at the middle of the night, and we side slip the course to make it clean and clear in between the racers. So if you watch closely on the TV cameras, if anything's televised, you'll kind of see these bibbed two pairs going down right in between the racers, and then we snug off to the side when the next racer comes down. So it's really fun because you feel like you're actually on the course as a racer, and we have our own little finish line off to the right, and we go, yay! We made it.
Yeah, but you certainly were lucky. You were super fit to be a slip courser for our double black diamond race course.
Yeah, it's a lot of physical work for sure.
And I hate to break it to you, I've got to say goodbye to our extraordinary William Goessaert, representing HollandBloorView.ca. You have been amazing in telling us all about what technicians do in prosthetics and orthotics today, Will. And I'm so glad you are deemed an essential service out there during COVID. And you are certainly essential in my life. So thank you for being here, Will.
Thank you so much. Yeah, always a pleasure, and look forward to being on next time.
Yes, I'm so glad we had this mini reunion.
Yes, lovely.
Nice.